You and your mammy and your granny too. And fuck all you hoes. I'm sick of this shit. All you hoes. And fuck all you. Don't give a damn what you wanna do. And fuck all you hoes.
They like the chaos.
They like the chaos. So when you're able to
The chaos.
let that chaos reign with,
The chaos.
let that chaos reign with,
The chaos.
let that chaos reign with,
Must reign.
All right, welcome. Welcome to another session, another live stream here on the Chaos Reign Show. I am Chaos Reign. Let's kick things off. The title. You see the thumbnail. The standards. What's your views and opinions? Please, as you come to the stream, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We're going to look at two ladies and their preference. Let's go.
It is weird, if
Yeah.
only because obviously I know my father is a good-looking man, right? Because everyone says it, and I'm like, yeah, he's handsome. But then, like, you know, genetically and, like, I don't find him hot, which is then why I
Right.
find it so hard to find Irishmen hot.
Oh.
Like, everyone's like, Paul Mescal, Colin Farrell, and I'm like, no. They all remind me of me dad.
Of me
and
dad.
I can't. And
Yeah.
it's just something in my brain where I'm just like,
Is it self-hate? Because I kind of hate. Sorry.
no, I like this theory. Keep going.
Well, because I'm only saying that because I hate the internal racism that happens, specifically maybe the Asian community. Because as a Filipino,
Wow.
I've seen a lot of, as you've noticed, and look, I'm in an interracial relationship, so I'm not the best, but I've seen a lot in my community where, especially the Asian women, love to date outside of our race, especially Filipinos. I'm only speaking
Yeah.
because that's what I know, and I've seen a lot of my friends do the thing of just, "Ugh, I don't want to date another Filipino because I feel like I'm dating my brother." Because
Interesting.
and so they will date a white man or like date or whatever, you know, and most of the time it's a white man when they talk like that, because there's a lot of the internal shame that happens within our community with wanting to date within our race versus, like, I mean, I know it happens also in the Black community and every community, but what I love about the Black community is like, oh yeah, Black love, like they celebrate that. I also know that there's that other side of it too, but it happens in the Filipino culture too.
Oh,
So
yeah. No, that's
yeah,
really
so that's why when you said
poignant.
that's what that reminded me of. But I also know that the Irish culture is different, so I don't know if that's
No, but that's really
something,
fascinating.
you know.
I do think, I mean, you saying that, I'm like, I wonder if there is a bit of that, if only because
But also, like, you're white. I don't know if there's a sense of like, I don't want to date my kind because it's because white is what's always been praised.
True, but also sucks.
Yeah,
White people
I-
suck. But I get what you're saying. Like,
But
Yeah.
there was never this kind of systematic thing that you had to grow up with, at least, you know, for me being Filipino and like living in a white community where I was, especially early 2000s, where it's like, I'm not the beauty standard.
As you guys come through, please hit the like button. Likes are free, like always. A quick pause for a second. As you know, the lady on the right did not know she's Filipino. Yes, she is right. Majority of a lot of Asian women, right? Thai, Filipino, Korean, Chinese, and even Japanese, and there are many more nationalities or tribes within the Asian culture or in Asian tribes, that it is a known fact that they are dating outside their race more and more. But the question should be asked, is women dating out more than their men, or is it a 50-50 thing? Leave your views in the comment section or in the chat room, either or. I'll read it to get your opinion. Let's keep going listening.
And you know, I still struggle with that now. I'm like, I'm not the beauty standard, so it's because of my race and my features, and you know, obviously, like, the beauty standard is conventionally pretty is
Western,
very
yeah.
Western. So it's
Very white. Yeah.
yeah, so there is that internal shame that happens
Yeah.
within my community I've seen, especially with Filipino women that date outside their
Right.
race.
No,
Yeah.
that I do think there is maybe a twinge of that.
Hello, hello. How you doing? Good evening to those that's in the chat room. Let me check who's in the chat room. I'll check in a second. Let's continue. I'm going to notch everybody in the chat room in a second. Let's go.
In a
Yeah,
way-
but also I don't.
No, I
Spark-
find that
spark
really
back, yeah.
fascinating though, because I think you're right, because I mean, it's not that Colin Farrell is hot, you know, and like I do
Right.
think there are probably an Irishman. I mean, I'm not gonna say no to an Irishman if he's a good one,
Right.
but I just feel like because I've just been so over placated by people being like, your dad's hot, and me being like, oh Jesus Christ, I know.
Right.
It just kind of like turned me off.
And also
on
it
that.
is just weird when it's just like incestual. You're just like, yeah.
I think that's also it. It's just
Yeah.
that layer to it. But I think I've also told you that in the sense that growing up, white boys didn't find me attractive. And I also feel like, again, if we're talking about the whole theory of my defense
Yeah.
mechanism, then I was like, then fine, fuck you guys. I don't want to be with you anyways. But then all my crushes were on white boys.
Yeah.
Fucking Alex, Travis, and Noah. You guys know who you are. Okay. It's just like all these white boys that I had crushes on in middle school and high school. But like,
I mean, excuse the language. You know, they're going to cuss a little bit, but it's natural.
they didn't find me
Never,
attractive
yeah.
because they thought I was, hate to say that, but they called me ghetto. But I love that you're talking about this, the beauty standard, because that was like the one thing that I loved about being accepted by a Black culture and like being growing up in Black culture is the idea that those moms and aunties and all those women made me love my body.
Aw.
Because they were just like, there's nothing wrong with you.
Right.
They'd be like, look, you have no ass, but you know how to shake it. Like literally, they'd be like,
Yeah.
you have no butt, Rose,
Right.
but you have titties. So
Right.
use those.
So use those. Yeah.
You know,
that's
and it
your
was like,
thing.
there's nothing wrong with your, and they were like, there's nothing wrong with your body. There's nothing wrong with you. And they just were like, anytime
Yeah.
the complete opposite of what I was hearing from like my terrible
White,
grandmother and
right.
white people being like, wow, like,
You need to be
skinny
skinnier.
and stuff.
You're-
These girls
yeah.
were like, you need to eat, you know,
Right.
like, and I just like, I think it was nice. And, you know, my sister and I were never body shamed by our mom. We were very
Right.
lucky that way. But like, we had a terrible, terrible grandmother who was like always telling us to lose
Right.
weight. I think that's
A side note, there in other cultures, especially she is white, and I think she more falls under the Irish side of things. It is known, and the mothers protect their daughters, that we don't really understand in regards to, I guess, the Black side of things. That is a known custom in the white society, especially with the women and the mothers, depending on how it's the view. It is known that skinny is a form of beauty, and there's a beauty standard that is pure. Now, there are some Caucasian women like her that might have some assets like big breasts, maybe small hips, maybe no butt, but it's compensated by her chest, roughly. But overall, it is shame for them to be too heavy. And I think the typical average weight from average women nowadays is like over 120, maybe 125 or so, depending on the average height, which is now roughly 5'4", or between 5'4" and 5'3". So most women like herself that you see in the picture, if she's considered either too big for her community and obviously not big enough in the Black side community, it's a problem. But overall, you know, let's be fair and honest. A man, especially if it's a Black man, he will take a non-Black woman if she has the right shape. So that's why you see a lot of non-Black women like her on the left will get accepted through certain men on the other side of the community, but not in her own, regardless she likes them or she has a desire to be with them or not. Let that sink in. All right, let's keep going.
like also it is that I was being taught how to love myself from a group of people that didn't look like me. And so then because of that, retroactively, I feel like I just then kind of then ignored that group of like white men because I was just like, well, they're never going to find me attractive anyways.
Yeah.
Now that's changed. Like now I've like, you know, been with, I mean, you know, me, my vagina is the UN. Okay, she'll
I will
accept
say,
anyone. Okay,
right.
but it was, I do think, a weird. I do think it was
A little bit of the shame.
the shame and a
Yeah.
little bit of the self-hate of just being like, well, you guys don't find me attractive because of the way I dress or carry myself, the way I talk, or
So I'm not going to find you attractive.
exactly. So I'm just gonna shut it off before I can.
Right. As you were speaking, I was like, I do relate to that in a sense of the Black community in your life has like accepted your body and uplifted you. Like I would say that it was the same for me too. I think that's even a huge thing in the Filipino culture is the want and the need for like whiteness that happens a lot.
Yeah.
We don't have to get deep into the country of colonization and brainwashing, but like I digress. So it's really whitening soap, okay, and then the whole colorism and
That was a-
anyways, yeah.
Yep.
So there is
Bleaching
this like
skin.
really just kind of like want and need for the whiteness and leaning towards that. Me as a Filipino woman, I am short. Even though people are really shocked every time they meet me in person, they always think that I'm tall.
You collect tall.
But I'm 5'3". But compared to a lot of Filipino
5'3" is not considered short, miss. 5'3" is actually the standard height of the Western woman in America. Well, it's roughly 5'4" now, but it's slightly close. So you're not considered short. I'm gonna tell you, ladies, once this and only this. Below height for a woman here in America is under 5'3". If you're 5'2" and below, you are considered short, or i.e. fun size. For those that don't know, you're fun size for a lot of men. If you're 5'3" and above, especially 5'4", you're actually the normal average height today in the West. And if you're Filipino, most women nowadays, I think the average height of Filipino, I think is 5 feet. I'm going to double check to see what's the height of an average woman in Asia. Let's continue as I double check.
women, I'm actually pretty tall because they're usually like 5 foot. I love my girlies that are 5 foot, but like that's usually
Ooh, I was right. 5 foot.
5 foot, 5'1", and here I am 5'3", and then
So tall.
so tall. I'm just I was
Yeah.
always a taller one, I guess you could say, in my Filipino friends. But I also was always like the chunkier one, you know what I mean? Like, or even before I was chunky, because like if you look back at my high school photos, I was thin. But I always had the boobs. I wasn't, I guess, also the standards of the early 2000s. I wasn't like the skinny hot, right? The Abercrombie models and stuff.
Seeing your rib bones.
Right.
Yeah.
But like as I've gotten older and I've dated, the Black community has always kind of accepted. And I also would see it in the culture of how much they accepted the curves and everything.
Yeah.
And I think that does play in a little bit of why I've always been more comfortable in dating Black men.
Yeah.
And it's because they've made me feel so much more beautiful than a white man has.
Could not agree more.
And I would say Filipino men too, because I've dated one for 5 years. I have dated a lot within my community, and they've also made me feel beautiful too. But I think as I've gotten older and got more mature with my body, I realized there was less and less of them. And Black men were the ones that were approaching me. So when you were saying that,
Yeah, because baby, you got some weight on you. And like I said before, and I'll say this again, a Black man will take any non-Black woman as long as she has a shape that appeals to the average Negro. Which if you have breasts and you have thighs and some butt, they will take you on. They will sit there gladly take you on, blow your back, baby, like it's never been seen before. Just sitting there, just hitting it, making you scream and go, ooh, ooh, ooh. So yes, Black men will surely take you and knock the boots off. Yes, indeed. Let's go.
I felt like I related a
Yeah.
lot to that.
It truly is a weird cultural zeitgeist, and
Yeah.
it's hard to explain because you are bringing in race, right, which is
Yep.
like such a difficult subject. But it is this idea where it's a cultural standard, and it's this idea. Look, I know that I don't own on this block; I rent. I've
Right.
been welcomed in,
Yep.
and I am very thankful for that.
Yep.
And I know exactly where to keep my hands and what to say and what not to say and when to listen.
Yes.
In return, I've gotten this amazing confidence, and it's truly because of that community.
Yeah.
So it's like so weird, but then I feel like, you
'Cause you like you want to embrace it and you want to
Yeah.
be essentially part of it without having to exploit it or to disrespect it in any way.
There's a
yeah,
thin line between cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation.
right.
And it is thin, but it's neon.
Do
so you
people
can
ever
see
like
it.
call you out? I guess
Oh.
we've never talked about this on the pod because
Oh.
I mean we've talked about interracial dating, but I don't think we've talked about it because we essentially you're a white woman that most of the time dates black men.
Yeah.
And I obviously am with a black man.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever called you out on maybe like
For sure.
like why are you dipping in this?
Oh,
you know?
literally my entire high school. I actually
Okay.
had a very, very good male friend of mine, a guy friend, tell me once, this was like, I think we were like in our late 20s or something like that. And he was like, you know, and he's a black guy. He's also a comedian and a writer and stuff. And we were having this conversation. He goes, you know, what's even more difficult, Rose, is you're actually friends with their sisters. And that's harder because these girls are going to look at you being like, you know how hard it is for us to find black men, and yet you're still so. And he said that, and I was like, ooh, like it literally sent me back where I was like, oh fuck, I've never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
So he's like, you have it on a whole different plane.
Before we continue, I know as I see more people popping in and out, circling. If you're watching the video, please give the video a like at anything. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the Chaos Radio Show. I want to hear from y'all. If anything else, you can like the video or subscribe. You know, feedback is good. Do you believe that this woman should be dating outside her race? Why she likes black men? I want to hear from y'all. Let's go.
Field than the girls that are like, I like you because my dad won't like you. You know what I mean? He's like, you came
Yeah.
up in the different scope of things. So he's like, you've seen the plight. So you've heard the complaining. You've dealt with the pain. You've seen it firsthand as their friend. So you're coming at it from a very different angle because now you're still dating their cousin, brother, whatever, you know? And I'm
Yeah.
like, ooh, fuck, I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
So
And have they ever gone mad at you for it?
my real friends
Yeah.
have never gotten mad at me about
Okay.
it. There have been, I feel like, girls who, so one of my best friends from high school, Ethiopia, she was talking about how
Okay, we have one person. I think named Geometric City 8487. He said, no, I don't. Okay. Is there any reason why Geometric, if I said it right, if you want to give detail, right in the chat room. Let's go. Oh, if you guys want to support the channel, you can hit the super chat or cash app. All right, let's go.
like when you're at like a party years ago and like in high school, there was this other girl in Franklin being like, Rose wishes she was black. And Ethiopia was like, she doesn't wish that she was anything. That's just who Rose is.
Right.
And I remember her telling me that, and I got really embarrassed. And E was like, but that's the price you pay, Rose. What did you think? Like, you thought that you could act this way and like
And then
dress this
not
way
get
and
anyone
not
get called out.
yeah, exactly. She's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? And that was like, again,
Yeah.
my first realization of it, where it wasn't like, let's be honest, like I think we've talked about this, like the black scent, right? Where it's like the whole idea that like I've never had one. And a lot of times I feel like absolutely my vocabulary has definitely reflected in that. The way I like inflex on certain words for sure. Absolutely. But it's again because of like where I was around most of my
Right.
childhood and everything. It's like the same way that like I had an accent until someone told me, why do you talk funny? And I was like, no, I don't, and I got
Right.
rid of my Irish accent. But
Aw.
I mean, I have been
I don't know what type of Irish accent she has, but Anyhow, let's go.
called out. I don't even know if it's called out. Someone has come to me and we've been able to have a great conversation.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to be one of those people that's just like, nope, I've never. What? I don't do that. No, yeah,
Yeah.
I've dated primarily black people. Sorry,
Right.
I can't
When
say
did you
otherwise.
realize that you were like attracted to black men? Because I know you talked about like the whole like beauty standard
Yeah.
thing, but like when was that first time you realized? You were-
Geometrics, I would agree with you on that comment, but during the early parts of this video, what you're listening to right now, she's very much heavily involved with her father. Surprisingly, for those that's watching this and did not know why she's dating the outside race, her father is involved in her life. To those that don't want to believe this, she already said out her mouth that her father was involved. So let's keep going.
Bear with me
Okay.
because it's a weird one. It's my hear me out cake
Okay. Okay.
kind of
okay,
vibe
okay. Okay.
because it makes sense if you think about it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
Simba from The Lion King.
Okay. Okay. I
Voiced-
get it. I get it. Yes.
Voiced by Jonathan
You got
Taylor
that bit.
Thomas, but
Okay.
sang by a black guy whose name I can't think of and I feel bad for.
He was a sister, not sister. God,
But
sorry.
he was in
Smart
Sisters-
Guy.
He was in Smart Guy and Sisters Act. right? Was
Yeah,
he in Sister
no,
Act 2? No, he wasn't in Sister Act 2, was he?
I think so, but
Maybe.
I'm like forgetting. But
But
not
Simba.
Marcus. It's not Marcus Houston. It's
But what? But the
But
guy
him, the brother of
Smart guy.
guy.
Keep in mind, Simba.
Hot.
There you go. But it's a
Will
white
you
guy.
Be a mighty king.
Yep,
But
but
hear
it's
me roar. Yeah.
voiced by Jonathan Taylor Thomas,
Yeah.
sung by a black guy. So then I was like,
Hot.
these are my two guys. I was
Yeah.
like, this is then. Waha, wait a second. I guess that. I was like, well, also, and he's a lion, so that's weird. Bestiality, but like,
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas is hot.
It's
And
the
also
personality.
it's the personality.
It's really the person. It's
And
yeah.
and that was the other thing is I feel like in elementary school it was me and Brittany. We were the only white girls. Of course I'm gonna have a crush on D'Angelo.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And like he was there and he thought I was cute. And then we
You know, the thing I get to understand, D'Angelo, if I remember D'Angelo is an artist that came out in the 90s. So I'm not sure if these women are late 80s babies or early 90s babies. But for them to remember D'Angelo, they were born in a certain era where a lot of black artists, I think soul type music, neo soul came around, where a lot of people were really gravitated by the black men of that time during the 90s, where music still has some relevance. So let that sink in. Let's go.
would hold hands in the back of the
you
bus.
grew up with it, yeah.
I grew up with it. I wrote a pilot about this recently about like it's hard to explain, but like the introduction of whiteness.
Yeah.
Me realizing that I was white wasn't a problem until someone else made it a problem. To me and my friends, like race didn't really matter. When you're black, you learn about it way faster, way quicker.
Right.
But then when you're a white person around a bunch of black kids and then someone gets called the N-word and you're like, why is that a big deal? And then your teacher has to pull you aside and explain it to you, which is exactly what happened to me.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the first time I ever
You're like,
heard.
what do you mean? Everyone else is saying it.
Well,
but you're young. Obviously, you're like a child.
I have to say, there is an episode. My
Yeah.
sister called me and was like, Rose, you have to watch of Abbott Elementary, where the cold opening is the one white kid. Because Claire and I are watching the show being like, that's us.
Yeah.
The one white kid goes to the principal's office. They were like, he said the N-word. And the teacher was like, what? You Tracy Wallace, you Quentin Tarantino. And the teacher goes, nerd. He said nerd. That's the N-word. And Claire and I were laughing our asses off because we were like, oh my God, that was like always the fear is like this idea what they would be like, are these little white girls going to say N-word? And we're like,
Right.
no, we've been told we're not supposed to. But the first time I ever heard the N-word was my two best friends, black girls, Juanita and Levita. They were twins. We were sitting at a bus stop. A drunk white homeless man walks by and he was like, you stupid little N-word lover. And I was like, what? And immediately their reactions changed. And I was like, that's weird. We get on the bus.
Someone wrote, Pearly Finks. Who's that Pearly Finks? I'm kind of curious. Put it in the chat room.
Go to school. We get to school. They're acting weird. Our teacher, Miss Lamar, is like, what's wrong? And I was like, well, we were at the bus stop and this white man, and before I could finish the story, they finished it for me. And then Miss Lamar was like, who was a black Haitian woman, was like, okay, Rose, go over here. Juanita and Levita, go over here. I'm going to call your mom. Calls my mom. Calls my dad. Well, my dad shows up. They were like, that's a word that you're not supposed to say. It has a lot of different power. It means something different to them. Da-da-da. We'll explain it when you get older. And I was like, okay. And then I just remember being like, well, why do I feel bad? I didn't say it. And it wasn't necessary. I mean, it was directed to me, but it wasn't directed to me.
Right.
But
You're
like
you just knew something was wrong.
I just knew something was wrong. And it didn't feel right.
Right.
And like seeing my friends distraught,
Not a
I was
sense of
like,
guilt.
yes. And that was like another layer of white guilt that I don't
Yeah.
think people talk about. And then just being like, okay, I can kind of process this. I mean, I am in 4th grade. I barely know long division. And I'm also severely dyslexic. I don't know. So I'm like, okay, I can't process this. But I just knew from that point on, just never say that word. And then being in high school, I go to my first high school party. And there was another white boy that was there. I think I've told this story before. He keeps saying the N-word. And there was these other black guys being like, fuck it. And they beat the shit out of him. Just jump this white boy. Me and him are the only white people at this party.
Yeah.
And the one black guy who's like done beating the guy up, he turns to me and he's like, so do you know this white boy? And I look around and I realize that all my friends have like stepped back. And I was like, not all white people know each other.
Oh, I think I know what y'all talking about. Let me keep playing. Let me put a screen.
And everyone started.
Oh, I think what y'all guys saying. I don't think this woman is pearly fangs. Let me look at her good. Let me double check. She is not pearly fangs. I think I know what y'all guys talking about. I think I know what you guys talking about. No, hell no, it ain't pearly fangs. Guys, does she really look like pearly? Let me see. I even noticed that. No, that's not pearly. That's not pearly. Guys, come on, man. If y'all watch pearly fangs is a little bit more. What's the word? Damn. She's more conservative. Anyhow, let's keep playing.
Laughing, and I was like, great, I'm the funny white girl. I fucking solidified my entire
Right.
existence. I can go from
You're
there.
like, that's my blanket, my safety blanket.
That's my niche.
Yeah, it's
Comedy.
my niche.
I was like,
Yeah.
literally, comedy will heal people.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm just gonna be funny. But I never, and I still don't understand white people's obsession with wanting to say that word and being like, it's fine if Mark Twain write it. When's the last time you fucking read a Mark Twain book, bitch? Like, and more important.
For context, the only reason other races of people love to use the N-word for the sake of conversation, because it's empowering. It emboldens them when they look into black people's either in their face or behind their, behind them when they're not, no one's looking, because it emboldens them. It gives them exertion of power. It gives them a sense of, arousal when they use the N-word vigorously. That's the only answer I give you why certain non-black people use the N-word, especially what she's referring to, why they're so bold to say it. All right, let's keep going.
Name a Mark Twain book. Like,
right, I can't.
Exactly. Just
Who is Mark Twain?
An author who used the N-word one too many fucking times. I can tell you that right now. That man was
who the
obsessed
fuck?
with it. He used it like a goddamn comma.
No, Mark Twain of his time when he was alive, lived in an era when they used it and say it profusely, because at the time, I think they were coming out of slavery when Mark Twain was alive. I gotta double check Mark Twain. Let me double check when he was born. Let's keep going.
And like it's like this very like weird thing, because I have been in situations where I know that, like, as a white woman who has dated primarily black men and men of color, there is a responsibility that I hold and I continuously am aware of, that of my privilege and of everything that I can like step into, while simultaneously have this weird chip on my shoulder, because all my life I've wanted white men to fucking like me and look in my direction, and they don't like me because I'm too fucking loud, and because I dress like this, and because I talk like this, and because, more importantly, one of my first experiences with a white man, we were having sex, and then he literally said, because he went to high school with me, "Is this as good as the black dick you've gotten?"
Oh, whoa, my God, Jesus Christ. Yo, that is not surprising at all. See, this is why, man. Oh, one guy writes, I tried it in Oakland. Okay. I think it's general. Okay, that's cool. Yo, you heard that, guys and girls? But it makes sense, because if they see you as a non-black woman dating and having intercourse, because you mess around with, outside your race, they're going to assume that you're getting your back blown outside your race. So it makes sense when he gets you in bed, he's going to up on you and tell you, say, so what do you say? I'm better than the black thing, right? Because it emboldens him. He wants to know that he is empowering himself, to noticing that he got to clap your cheeks and want you to know and want to hear your response that my dick is better than the black one. Do y'all get it? Y'all get it, right? That's why he said that to her. Because a lot of Caucasian males, or non-black males in general, have affinity towards the black phallus. What's good, Tevin? Welcome. I don't know. A lot of people say this is pearly things. I'm gonna double check this video. I'm gonna see who this is to give you some reference. Yeah, guys, hit the like button. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, hit the like button. Thank you. Hit the like button. And please support the channel. Hit the super chat. I'm gonna find out what her name is so that everybody don't get misconstrued. Misconstrued. All right, let's go.
And I was like,
Yeah.
are you fucking kidding me? That's what you fucking say to me, like in bed? And and also my rapist is a white man, so it's like I
Yeah.
don't fucking have a good relationship with it. But like, fucking that dude, I was like,
I've gotten that not in that context, but because I've dated black men, I've gotten that word or like question or
Yes, Roxy. Exactly. It's not Pearl. She just looked like that. You know, I think most women, and I think Pearl, she says she is a mixture of German and Irish. From what I can remember from Pearl, she said about her family background is German and Irish. I could be wrong, I got double check, but I know she's German. The real Pearl, the guys that or the woman that the people in the chat were saying Pearly thinks. I'm aware who y'all talking about. She's a mixture of two tribes, German, I think Irish. This woman you see on the left, she is actually Irish. Nothing else. So yeah. She'll look more like Pearl. Remember, Pearl got red hair. So you know she got the Irish mixture. So that's why I consume. And guys, I know I got more people watching. Please like the stream. It's been a while since I got this many people on the stream. So if you don't mind, just for sake of conversation, give the video a like. If anything else you like about what you seen, give the video a like. If not, give a dislike. But overall, yeah, she's a Pearl lookalike, but not Pearl. Let me see. What else she writes? Roxy writes, I think Pearl also likes black. Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. Let's keep going.
just that kind of
yes,
attitude towards me because of it. And I also think because there's the masculinity pull, right? Of like Asian men, especially Filipino men, or just Asian men in general, is always just very like, it was always lower. It's just like, okay, Asian guy, small dick.
that's not true.
Right.
Hey, Toshi,
Asians know how to fuck,
Hey.
let me tell you. They got that dang name. But he like
Talented, very talented man.
But if the Asian boys got that dang, why are you not in a relationship with the dang? I'm confused, baby. If they got like that, you should be in a relationship with one of your own. But she said in her own mouth throughout this stream that most Asian women don't like to interact or have relationships. This is her own mouth, guys. I'm not shitting on you. She said that most Asian women don't like to be in their own race because it's like messing around with their brothers. So which one is it? Because you're right to your opinion, but for your own words, you're kind of contradicting. I'm just saying because yes, most Asian men do have small phallus for good reasons. And I think if you look at the body composition of every group of women, most men on the average is designed to be compatible for the organs for most within their own race. This is what I believe. Now every person is going to be well endowed on the average, but to find those that are is not just a blessing, it's just the natural of, nature and maybe some abnormalities normally that goes into play why other groups of men that might have their being bigger than, within their own groups than the average size. I mean, it happens. So, and I'm gonna keep reading your comment section, your comments in a second, guys. Please like the video as you come in, like the stream. I'm gonna read every comment as I get through this video as best as possible. If you feel any way, the stream is likeful or not, you could even support with a super chat or whatever. I'm gonna get to your comments in a second. Let's keep going.
I'm currently.
But I just feel like there was always this, as I've gone older, less and less Asian men started going for me because I think them knowing that I dated black men sometimes was this intimidation of, oh, I can't compete with that. Not that they would ever say the black dick thing. It was always white guys. They'd be like, oh yeah, Steph likes that black dick. Yeah, a black dick.
Why are you thinking about dick, dude?
Yeah,
because they're self-conscious. Within every group of men, except the black men, and I'm gonna keep it real with a lot of y'all that's listening, that no one's telling you this. Every race of men are very subconscious about their thing, except black men. And they have affinity, not lust, but affinity about the phallus. So And this is why a lot of men don't like when their own women interact sexually with black men. Because in the mind of most other races of men, they always got to keep in mind that this black man is going to give more sexually, and not only sexual, but will hook and get their women hooked on them to the point now when it's come from time for them to perform and all stuff, they're not going to measure because black men is going to give them the business in the bedroom to the point that, let's keep real. The women are going to constantly go back to it, especially if they're not in control in the relationship with the woman they're dealing with. So once they know that you as a woman go outside your race and have intercourse with a black man, it makes sense that they'll tell you personally you are tainted, because in their mind, they have to sit to compete overall on the average sexually in the bed to keep you in line. And they can't do that if you woman, Asian woman, white woman, or etc., is going outside sleeping with black men. That's why they shame and create or make punishments either, by banishment or even economically to their women or socially to the women. So that way it prevents them from interacting and engage in sexual intercourse with the black phallus. Hope that makes sense, guys. But anyhow, let's keep going.
Right. I'm just like, what is your obsession? Oh, it just took me back because I've gotten comments like that. And they're just like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Like, and again, why are you fucking a very beautiful,
Why are
amazing
you-
pussy and you're thinking of dick?
Why do you love them so much?
Go fuck one.
Right.
Go-
Your obsession? Go fuck one.
God damn, these women cuss too much. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, man. Yeah, this ain't us. And this is another thing you ladies got to understand. Let's watch this. On the average, most men, we don't like when you guys got potty mouths. The cussing, you got to keep it to a minimum, ladies. It's unattractive. I don't know. I'm just going to keep playing. I'm going to get through this video as best as possible, but I don't know how let's go. Let's go.
It's just like, again, and it's that thing that happens sometimes when guys are obsessed with a girl's body count. Why do you want to think about every dick? Go fuck
Right.
a dick.
Go
Like,
fuck it.
It just makes no
Yep.
sense to me. I don't care about how many vaginas you've fucked because I only care about you, bro.
Right.
The reason why I ask about body count is because of my my health and my safety.
Yeah.
Being like, when's the last time you had an STD check? I don't need to know how many people you had sex with. I
Right.
just need to know how many times you've been checked since you've
Like,
had
we
sex.
just need to know who we messing with.
That's it. But when
That's
it
it.
comes to this idea of like how many people you fucked, it's like, why do you want to think about the dicks I've been fucking?
Yeah.
That's so
It's
weird.
weird.
It's
It
so
is
weird.
such a
homie.
weird thing that I've noticed being someone who, dates outside my race and dating specifically black men is like that comment. You grew up with the community. For me, like I grew up in Santa Clarita, and although there's like diversity they like to say, but like let's be real, there's not that many black people.
Right.
At least in my high school that I went to, and again, white community.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was like almost like scandalous in a way that I was attracted to black men. People always like to make that comment. Again, going to like, oh, that's
Fascinating.
Steph, like she likes black dick, or to be like, oh yeah, Steph loves black men. And then as soon as they see a black man, they're like, Steph, look, and they're like, go flirt with him or go. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what? I'm not.
It's
weird.
It's so anytime that someone, it's like it's literally off the air. Jonathan,
Right.
Hey, Jonathan, our editor, we were talking about this where it's like just because he's gay doesn't mean like he's gonna be my type.
Right.
And it's like very much that idea where it's like just because I've dated black men in the past doesn't mean that I'm gonna date
They're all
every
my
black
fucking
man.
type.
They're all
Right.
my fucking type.
Like I remember, like I always think about how these people that I used to be friends with, or whoever, or whatever, back in the day, where if we're walking somewhere and a black man walks by or something, they'll like look at me like, Steph, and I'm just like,
Get over yourself. Honestly.
what the fuck?
Yeah. Also,
know?
why are you fantasizing me with this man? Maybe you
Why? Like it was such a
Why are you so
thing,
obsessed with us?
And
Yes.
so that's like the weird part of like interracial dating, and especially the way that I grew up in a white town where there wasn't a lot of them, or I guess just racism.
Racism in
Racism in general,
Yeah.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So they're just like, ooh, it's scandalous. Like, oh, she likes black men. And if you think about it, you're just like, okay,
Okay. That's it. That's
and what?
okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Great. Let's move on. It's a great topic. And
Why is that so fucking scandalous?
Okay, for Don Just Beauty Bricks, no, you might have to rewrite that comment because it did not go through Google. If you want people to see what you wrote, you might have to put in super chat. If you want to keep that comment as is, either that you might have to rewrite it because I can't pull it up because it's not showing on my other device. So let you know. Let's go.
Good night.
Why is that a scandal? Why is that like a she's different?
Yep.
And I was always different in that because
of the it's the racism. It's like, you know, it's everyone in America, like, let's be honest, everyone in America wants to be black until they get pulled over by the cops, right?
right.
Yeah.
And so here you are being basically everything we consume is just really just stolen from black culture. It's
Everything's
like,
black culture.
everything is, and it's
or starts from black culture.
it starts from it, and it's fucking sick and amazing, and it's
Right.
cool, and that's why we do it, because it's Cool Kids Club.
Right.
And
She's right. She's right. Everything they imitate, they got from black people or what they call niggers. I give her credit for that. She knows not only the history, but she's keeping it real. Everybody wants to act in a certain way until it's not favorable to be pulled over by the popos. I deny what she's saying. She's actually right on that mark. So I give her credit for that. Okay. All right. I see. All right, let's keep going.
so then if you've been accepted or you're in it, there's a lot of jealousy that comes from that, and a lot of like this
Yeah.
and this
It's all the
idea
ignorance
ignorance,
shit.
as well as this, and I feel like especially as a white woman,
Yeah.
there's this idea of me rejecting and not choosing to align myself to this false safety of white supremacy. That world's not going to save me, right? Like
Yeah.
Oh, damn. She used white supremacy. That's something new. Let's go.
that's not gonna be the thing that fucking gets me when the world goes to the end. Like, I do not care about how close I get myself to white supremacy whatsoever.
Right.
And I think there is a huge judgment and jealousy of the people that are like, you don't need that world. Fuck off. They're upset because
Right.
for me, I'm like, no. Like, I'm going to be okay. I feel no shame being a white person at all. I am completely content with it.
Right.
I just deal with the privileges and the stigmas and like the things that come with it. And I just trudge on, but it doesn't make me any better than anyone else. And it doesn't make me worse than anyone else. So I
Right.
just have to carry on with that. But I'm not going to be around here pretending that I didn't find myself accepted by a community that was just like, you're cool. That's
Right.
it. That's the standard. And dating these people made me feel comfortable. You know, don't get me wrong. I mean, shout out to Sterling. That was a fun white boy. My white boy
Right.
summer was so fun.
Aw.
I've had like fun things. I'm now that I'm getting older, I'm like being a little more cautious about, you know, I'm being very more picky about who I'm dating and who I'm seeing. I don't know. I date who I like and who likes me and have vibed with me. And primarily it's been a lot of people that are just like, why are you like this? And then they
Right.
get to know me and they're like, oh, I get it now, you
Right.
know?
And
And
I also think there's just like it's like more than just attraction, but sometimes it's like things that you have in common.
yeah.
You know, like when I would talk to guys who were white or whatever, even
Oh, and there was a comment that was, I think, retracted. Mr. Mides, what do you mean by the 19th Amendment should be appealed? I'm gonna double check what that 19th Amendment really means. Let's double check, because if you put it out and retract it, it must mean something. I'm gonna double check what that is. Let's keep going.
if I thought they were attractive, I think there's a lot of attractive white men that maybe I could have dated, whatever. Like Justin Timberlake, Justin Bieber, I would definitely fuck. Okay, I would definitely fuck Justin Bieber.
Girl.
I'll do it.
Ooh, for me, it's Jack O'Connor.
But you see, they talking about artists. So you tell me you want to date the typical Caucasian male? I don't understand that. I mean, there are some out there that will act and conduct themselves like the artists you show. Oh, I forgot. They want the status. That's why they mention these artist names. That's sick. Gentlemen, pay attention to that. If you watch this, pay attention heavily on that. All right, let's keep going.
Guy from Sinners. Oh my God, he's Irish.
Oh, you
well,
could do it.
he's like half Irish, but yeah, I could.
Yeah.
Oh, Jack
Okay.
O'Connor.
Yeah, there
Oh,
you go.
Jack. Cook from Skins.
Ooh.
I
Yeah.
think he has a partner, but
Yeah, there's some white boys I'd fuck. You know, when I would come across these white guys, and I've dated one, white Nick, and a lot of times I just never felt like I had things in common with them. You know,
that's-
like even if we're
okay,
taking
yeah.
race aside, and we can't even see each other, like if we're doing Love Is Blind or something, like we're not seeing color.
Whoa,
Like I
yeah.
just don't have a lot of things in common with them. So that's why it's with black men or with like Filipino men or Asian men and whatever, mostly black men that I've dated, I guess. Because I just feel like I had more common with them. I felt like I connected with them
Yeah.
in like a
Okay, I see what the 19th Amendment. Mr. Eaton, it is thoughtful, but the problem with that comment, and I think you should keep it on because that is your right, that is your opinion. The only reason why that amendment is not going to be repealed because we're in a time now that women are now involved into politics, and the system, the men that made it possible to make that amendment wanted women to participate in the voting process. Now, I think maybe the reason why they did to maybe have women make it easy or make them be involved in military action, or it could be something else. I think the purpose of the 19th Amendment overall is to put women in position to really voice their opinion and give them some sense of say in this country. Nor that the country doesn't really need women's say because most everything that's done, conducted, and moved, the shakers, movers, are still men. So women might think they have power in that sense, but they don't really have power like that. So repealing 19th Amendment, they don't really care about the voting of women involved in voting in the matters of the affairs of the country. Just let y'all know that. Hell, we don't even got a woman president. That tells you who really is moving and pushing the country. Food for pot. Let's go.
deeper level than I've ever had with white men.
Yeah.
So it felt natural to do.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying because I
You
do
know?
feel like about the, like honestly thinking about the white boys that I've like hooked up with and or dated. I'm like, yeah, they kind of have similar upbringings as I did. Besides white Sterling, that was like a weird phenomenon. But I mean, yeah, no, you're right. It is a commonplace. It is the idea of like, oh yeah, we did talk. We had similar taste in music and movies and like pop
Yes.
culture. And you're like, yeah, that is what
And just like
brings
humor
it together.
and just the way that you view life.
Yes.
I don't
how
know.
you
There's just
conduct yourself in
how
public.
you conduct
Yep.
yourself in public. I never felt a soul connection on a deeper level with.
Okay, one other thing, guys. I am going to start reading the comments in a few more minutes because I see a lot of comments come my way. If you have anything that really want to stand out that I couldn't read on Google, put in a super chat. So I'm gonna let this play a little more, and I'm gonna start reading our comments. So let's go.
A white men in that way.
Yeah.
Because I was open to it. I was never like, no, get out of here. One, they never, well, there were some that would try to, but I don't know.
There's
Look, men are men.
Men are
No matter
men.
what.
Look,
they
it
are.
doesn't matter if you purple stripe,
Right.
polka dotted, whatever.
Look, there's always, but again, I was always just like, we don't like the same things.
yeah. Yeah, I can't.
know?
Yeah, I can't have a conversation with you,
I-
or even a fun
yes.
argument.
Yes. Or even a fun argument.
Because even then, I love a good debate. I love a good debate.
Right.
Like I don't have to agree on everything with you. I want to be able to have a conversation
Yeah.
with you. But if everything turns into an argument, absolutely not.
Right.
But if you and I can debate and like we don't like the same movie, and I need to know why you liked that terrible fucking movie, I love
fun,
that.
yeah.
That's fun. That's spicy.
Right.
Oh,
It is what
wow.
it is.
No,
Yeah.
I'm really glad that you asked me that because I guess we've never really talked
We've
about
never
that.
like talked about that because
Mm-hmm.
we date outside our race, and there's so many things like just even you saying the stuff. I'm like, yeah, I relate to that. Like the whole thing about the weirdness of people's obsession with black dick, but yeah.
Girl, and best believe.
And I will- oh, sorry,
Well,
you
I'm
go.
just saying, every girl that's
Yeah.
said that they're about to hook up with that guy, I immediately tell them that story. Because I'm like, don't hook up with him. I was like,
Right.
and they're like,
That's weird.
So I'm cock blocking that motherfucker. I won't even
Right.
say his name because he sucks.
Yeah.
He has a brother. He lives in Seattle. Those who know.
But I will say, I want to give a shout out to my ex, Kalia, who actually made the theme song for Vocal Therapy 10 years ago. He was like 10 years older than me. I was 24. He was 34, which is crazy because I'm 35. And I used to be like, oh my God, he's old. But here we are.
That is called your silver birthday, by the way.
Yeah.
The age you were
When
with
you
the man
fucked.
that you're old. Yep.
Yes.
I am that now, right now.
Wow.
Yep, 36, trying to fuck a 21-year-old. That would be weird, right?
Wow.
You were weird. Anyways,
you
sorry.
were weird,
bro. Fucking weird.
That's weird, bro.
It was weird, bro.
Anyways.
Anyways.
Yeah,
Your
so-
hairline's fucked and you'll always be older than me. Continue. I'm sorry. I'm fine. So, theme song.
I remember my ex, he was 10 years older than me. Obviously, he was a black man. And at that time, you know, this was probably 10 years ago. So probably, well, when I dated him, it was probably like 2015, 2014, 2015. And I remember he was the first one that really told me that racism was still alive, which is insane in hindsight now, thinking about everything.
Nah, I get it, girl.
I remember he really honestly changed my life because again, I came from a very white dominant suburban neighborhood, and again, it was scandalous to date black men, which is so fucking racist. And I will say, like, there were times where I wasn't, I guess, quote unquote woke yet or understood that some of those things were racist. I always felt they were uncomfortable, but I was just at that time thinking like, yeah, I would laugh at it and whatever and let that happen. Or maybe I would have my ignorant thoughts of like, yeah, like it's bigger or whatever, you know, stupid shit. When I dated him, he clocked me because he heard me say the N-word with my friend and it was like, listen, you can't fucking say that, and this is why. And I remember him going on just, I mean, there were several, it wasn't even just one banter, but so much banter because this man liked to talk. Let me tell you, he needed the podcast. But he would just ramble and rant about how racism was still a thing and his experience like as a black man. Well, first he asked me like, I hope you're not like fetishizing me because I am a black man. Because black men are fetishized, you know, and I don't want you to like, I'm like, I'm not fetishizing you. And he's like, but he was just making sure he taught me that how black men are always like, oh, looked at you because of the black fucking dick that people are so intimidated about, you know? And then also said like, look, you date black men, you got to know what the fuck is up.
Yeah, you gotta have
You have to know what this comes with. And if you're going to have black kids, you have to come correct. And so you have to understand this community. So he was like the first one, because again, Obama was still in office. So I'm like, I think we're good, right? America, we figured it out, right? America, we figured it out. We got it all. We've conquered. And solved racism.
Oh, sorry. All right, I'm gonna get to your comments now. But before I get to the comments, make sure you guys like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the ChaosStamps Show. And let me check how we're doing likes. Just for a quick second before I read the comments. I know most who watch these videos and they don't hit the like wherever electronic device. I mean, but come on, likes are simple if you guys can hit it. We could do more. We could use more likes. We could use like 6, 7 more likes if possible. But now on to the comments. I'm gonna read our comments now. Let me see. I'm going to scroll up and work my way down. Wait, let me check my other device before I read. Okay, some have gone through. Okay, good. Okay, I hate the way too big. One person writes, I'm Sink Crate. Next person, Sunny, writes, that's just not true. And the other guy writes, and I can't read it because Google did not allow it to pop up, but I think I understand what you mean. To be honest, Don, just you are actually right in regards to the body count. I said it personally, and I wrote a manuscript about this. For each body a woman takes, in the back of my mind as a man, and most men could agree or disagree with this, we look at that as some form of relationship you were interacting to add a body onto your moniker. And normally it always starts when you first have a boyfriend, allegedly, how it's supposed to go, when you're like, maybe as a kid, then as you approach teenager, you might stay with that boy or you might move on to another boy, and it adds on. I think by the time you're in leaving high school, going into college, if you gone through roughly 3 to potentially 4 boys in your life, or I like to call relationships, you are treading on thin ice, because now you're going to be going to college, which that's the average for most women, and you're going to add or double the amount of bias you're going to take, because you're not going to walk out of college with a husband on the average, depending on your race. So once you go beyond 4, and the guy wrote 5, most men will look at you're not gonna be able to pair bond after you've gone through 4, and then approaching the 5th man. So that's I want y'all to think on. Next comment. I think that sexy and I love black queens. Okay, Brandon writes, I think he's non-black. He's laughing. Are these women or men? These women, of course. They might be lame, yes. Next comment. I'm not surprised. Let me read. All right, hold on, I'm trying to make sure that comment went through. Okay, I can't read that one. That one then went through. All right, next question. Both look like, oh. Next comment. Let's see. Yeah. All right, Sunshine, Rivers, and Dreams. Laughing emojis. One by JJ43GV writes. And he, all right, who writes, make America safe, Donald Trump, us. Okay. What the F? All right. Next. Woo! Go, Donnie. Okay. Trump is not, okay. All right, let's keep going. Most of the questions are not really related to the topic, unfortunately. Let's keep playing.
We're okay. And he really taught me so much. And ever since then, I really think it changed my life, because I remember even listening to certain podcasts at that time that were like white women, and then stopped liking them. Not because they were white, but because I started hearing ignorant shit and clocking the ignorant stuff. And then over time, as I've listened and, really tried to educate myself, I was like, oh, what the fuck?
The microaggressions,
The
dog
microaggressions,
whistles, yep.
all that stuff that I was like, okay. And then Trump went into office, and the rest is history. But here we are. So I will say, I just wanted
the future.
The rest was, the rest is here. We're in it.
The rest is still unwritten.
The rest is still going. We're still.
Natasha.
The racism is alive and well.
Oh, man.
And if anything, louder.
That horse won't die. It's ridiculous.
So anyways, I just wanted to give a shout out to him, because I really do think that really changed my
Got
life.
your education there. Yeah.
Yeah, because it is important if you are going to date outside your race. Like even Brian, as a black man dating an Asian woman, he needs, it's important for him to know what it's like and understand the culture of the Asian community and Filipinos and stuff like that, and respecting that. So whenever, whatever race that is, date outside your race, understand and try to know what that comes with, because it's important, especially you're gonna have kids, and your kid's gonna be half of that.
And that's my big thing, is because
Okay, one thing I forgot to mention before I move forward with the stream. The woman on the left, the Irish woman, she's 36 years of age. So with her track record of dating outside race, and I don't think she's married from what I'm looking at the screen. If anybody thinks she's married, let me know in the chat room, because I don't know this woman. For those that said she look like pearly things, I don't think she look like pearly things, but okay. At 36 and you date somebody that's 10 years younger than you, is pretty much you're a Kruger. And not only a Kruger in age, but you qualify for younger dudes to get piped down on a daily basis. And I say, if you're, especially a woman like her, you should be getting out the market long time ago. You should not be still on the, what I like to call, and you're gonna lie, it's going like this. She should not be on the, what we like to call in the Chaos Range show. And for those that's not familiar with this channel, you should not be on the carousel, ladies. Yeah, you should not be on the cock carousel. Because at that age, the only thing young men are going to look, especially if you're old woman, is just to get easy access if you're not given already. Let's continue.
there's just so many, I hate to say it, but there's just so many white women I know that have kids with black men, or even men of color, and are just no education and are just so ignorant.
Yeah.
And it's just, I worry about those kids. I mean, oh God, anyone in Seattle probably knows who I'm thinking of right now, but I won't call her out. But it's just this idea of how I'm just.
And who's that lady in Seattle? We want to know. The crowd that wants to know. The people that's watching this want to know, who's that lady you talking about in Seattle that has a biracial kid by a black man? And I'm going to have to disagree about the education part. Most women know what they get into, especially when they're in an interracial relationship. Overall, average wise. Why? Because you know what comes with the territory when you date outside race, especially this woman on the screen on the left and the Asian woman, the Filipino woman on the right. Know what comes with, especially if you're dabbling between black phallus and non-black phallus. If they know that you're getting your cheeks clapped by a black man, they always gonna feel they have to be one up on you in the bedroom because in their mind, the black phallus dominates you to the point where they cannot compete in that sexual area. That's why you ladies that still talking about educational. I wonder, do you see the picture why other groups of men don't like when you're engaging sexually with a black man? They don't want that. They don't want that at all. They're going to constantly question where your hole has been punctured, especially if you're getting your hole banged out by a big phallus, for lack of better words. Matter of fact, yeah, man, screw it. You know what they said? For a lot of black men that guy like that, and I got a video. Screw it. I'm gonna play it here on the Chaos Reign for the first time. This is what I'm talking about when most non-black men think and view about black men once they get interaction with non-black women. They think of black men, and this is a new term that's gonna be making its rounds. They think of black men as what I like to call the woodsman, if you know what I mean. Here you go. Yep, the woodsman. That's something new for y'all. Let's keep going.
She won't even call her kids black. You know what I mean? She's like identifying them as, yeah, like I'm white, so my kids are white. And you're just like, oh my God, like I can't. Obviously, you know, I'm not as friendly with her as like some of my people back home are, but like it's just that idea that like it's embarrassing. You know what I mean? You should just educate. Ignorance is not hot. It's not a cool trend.
It's not cute. And I will say, sorry, finish.
No.
Before I continue, Mr. Mitch 6, you might have to rewrite your comment. Google did not want that to be present. If you want people to see what you wrote, you might have to put that in super chat or rewrite that comment, sir, or her. Thank you. Let's go.
No, that's it.
I will say we know some biracial people, right?
Yes.
And I think that I've seen not all, but some biracial people struggle with identity. I mean, maybe all, I don't know, but I've seen and I've heard people who are biracial really open up about that experience and have to struggle with that identity. And I do think that's what I want to hopefully avoid for my kids is to not have to struggle with that identity and to embrace both and to be both and know what that is, you know, and not have to like feel like they need to pick or choose,
but feel chosen.
Yeah, and to embrace and be so proud of that. You know?
Happy about that. Every time I don't want to think of you having kids. Oh my God, I'm gonna start crying again.
Oh my God, Uncle Rosie is gonna be so emotional.
Uncle Rosie,
because you know I've been watch. I'm gonna have a dream about you being pregnant. I've been having
so.
so many dreams about friends being pregnant. It's crazy.
Okay, well, I hope to get pregnant soon.
Well, at 36, I'm not sure what you're waiting for, baby. You are at high risk. The Irish woman on the left that looks like pearls for those who I'm talking about. You're at high risk, baby. Not saying you might not still be capable of having kids if you date outside race, but you're waiting too long, baby. If you want to have a successful birth with non-black men, especially, you should have had that a few years ago. If you have it now, you could put yourself in health risk. Not saying you will croak over in the living room, but you put a more burden and strain on your body at this late stage of the game, being mother at first time. So I'm not sure what this woman is waiting so long to have kids. So, but yeah. All right, let's keep going.
You know, after the wedding, because that's.
Why do I have this vision of you guys at the wedding and then you being like, I'm pregnant?
Oh, that would be so cute.
You better play this clip.
It's crazy because I'm on GLP-1.
Uh-huh.
So like I'm losing weight for the wedding.
But are your hormones like crazy right now?
No.
Oh, you don't feel really horny right now?
No.
Oh, okay.
But,
cool.
But I wasn't going to say that. Like I'm going to get all skinny. for the wedding, and then I have to go get pregnant. So then I might have to go to therapy.
That's, oh my God, I know what I'm going to use.
If we can get like 6 or maybe 7 more likes, I will surely appreciate it. If anything else, like the stream. I know we got roughly 39, 35, 30 people watching. If we get like a couple more likes, I will surely appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Let's go.
The wedding gift.
What?
I'm going to get you therapy.
I
I feel like I
there's
could
gonna
get-
be some bodily shit that I'm gonna probably have to, deal with.
But you're so.
Oh, a side note, Mr. Knight Rider, your comments are not gonna be posted because Google did not like what you write. So if you want to readjust what you write, it'd be better for me to post up. Or you can put that same comment in the super chat. I'm not seeing my end, so you're going to have to rewrite what you wrote. Just letting you know. Because people can't see in the chat room. Let's go.
Perfect and pretty, no
Like
matter what.
the body dysmorphia thing.
Comes and goes, but as a woman, knows you inside and out. I think you're perfect.
Thank you. And I think you're perfect too.
Boop.
Boop. Okay. Oh my God. What time is it? Oh my God.
Elphaba, we gotta end this.
Elphaba.
Oh wait,
I'm
no,
Linda,
Yeah,
bitch.
yeah, I'm so sorry, I forgot. See, I need to watch the movie so I can.
Can we have
understand.
a movie night and watch Wicked?
Okay, we'll watch it and then we could do an episode about it because I have never seen it.
We'll do a Wicked movie review.
I've never seen the play. I've
You've
never seen
the play
Girl.
or the movie.
I know. I've never defined gravity ever. Jesus Christ, I'm being judged. Oh my God, I feel like
That's interesting.
To be able to experience Wicked for the first time is the greatest gift, and I'm so excited for you. And we are gonna do this.
I'm so excited that I'm doing it with you, though. I don't want to do it with
Yes.
anyone else.
I mean,
should I dress up? Should I
Yes!
wear all green?
okay, with the green face.
I'll do it. I'll do it for you. I'll fucking do it.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm
get a hat.
excited.
Okay. I'll be
Get
in
a
green
hat.
face for you.
Okay, wait. We need to book it. Like, put it in the calendar.
Oh, we'll put it in the calendar. There is going to be a day where
right,
we do
and we'll
this.
invite Jonathan. We'll be a staff
Yes,
party.
it will be a staff party.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, like, is it gonna be? Do you like musicals?
I mean, I love musicals.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
no, I love musicals.
Is it annoying if I sing?
No, not at all.
Oh,
In
okay,
fact,
great.
I would want you to.
Okay, because I can't control myself.
Because I will say, and I think you'll appreciate this,
Yeah.
Clarice, also Filipino, one of my
Yes.
besties from Seattle, made a really funny comment where she also was like, man, I was really hoping that there would just be an auntie singing Defying Gravity at one point in the movie. She just was like, I was waiting. She was just
Right.
like, I was waiting for some auntie doing a karaoke rendition of the song. And I was just
Aw.
like, I thought you would appreciate that. as
Yeah,
well.
because I would be the auntie.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm
Just
like, I
like-
need my Filipino auntie.
I mean,
doing...
it won't sound good because I'm no Cynthia Erivo.
Filipino auntie. That's just wild. Wow. All right.
But that's fine.
Yeah, but that's not the point. It's just it's to feel like, to experience that scene for the first time.
Okay.
I'm so excited for you. This is gonna be the best day ever. Anyways,
Okay.
popular.
Plug myself. I'm Rose Macleys or Rose Etta Stone. You can find me on Instagram. I'm
All right. So that's Rose. All right. That's it. Yeah, that's it. So I'm not sure what your guys' thoughts on those two ladies. I think they were pretty honest in regards to their dating habits, especially dating outside of race. They know what comes with the territory, dating outside of race. And, the nature of the men in their community. And I say this and I say this for honesty. This is the reason why a lot of non-black women, either they exercise their options to date outside of the race or not. This is what they normally expect on the average when they're, I guess, jumping back or going back to the men of the community. The men of the community turn their face, skin their face, lift their nose up, and not only shame, but also disgust, because now they have to sit there and think themselves that a black man has dominated and blow the back out of their women within their own group. And they cannot now go up there and then engage sexual with them, because now they always have to keep in the back of their mind of what phallus enter some of their women within their group. And that is very demoralizing with a lot of men of other groups of men. Personally, that's why they shame and use psychology and mind tactics with their own women. And I'm gonna say this personally that people don't know. Most other groups of women are gonna still sleep outside the race. Matter of fact, this is the century, this is the time now, if you're a woman to be alive now, that if you're not exercising your options and you're not really dating outside for, more than fun, I'm not saying you're doing yourself a disservice, but you know what comes with it, And I think you're at a point, most women, other groups of women, don't give a F, personally. I'm finding more and more videos out there of a lot of women really hating and combating the men in their own group, especially the Caucasian men. And most non-black women, especially Caucasian women, are just not going to have it now. They're just not going to have it. And they're going to express what they like and their disdain, hate to Caucasian men in numbers now, beyond social media, in my opinion. That's why I see Forsaken in the future. But what do I know? What's your thoughts? Leave a comment below. Like, comment, and subscribe to the Chaos Rain channel. Now, the next video I'm gonna play, this will probably be the last video. I was gonna play this one with this weirdo chick, but I'm not gonna play her 30 minutes. So I got some better. I noticed there were a lot of black women that's traveling, right? And let me post the video.
This video is for Asian.
So there is a video going around now of a lot of women, right? Hold on. Sorry, guys. A lot of women that are traveling now, and they're expressing their love and wanting acceptance of other groups of men, particularly non-black men. And it kind of is alarming, and starting to see women like this that is prioritizing and promoting, and let's be honest, selling themselves just for the possibility of relationships. So, but anyhow, let's play the video and let's give commentary. Let's go.
Men and Asian men only. Are y'all here? Hi. Hi. I'm just wondering, where are the Asian men that like black women? Asking for a friend. I'm just asking for a friend. But where all y'all at? Like, I just don't see y'all anywhere. Haven't ran into one or anything. Like, where y'all hiding? Where y'all hiding? Asking for a friend. Asking for a friend. Yeah, but where y'all at?
Passport Sis says black women need to stop prostituting in China. Black women seem to treat prostitution as the golden ticket to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, which is a legit play on words. Black women's reputation is down in the gutter, and that's because of other black women. Listen to this.
This video is for black girls living in China. The prostitution has to stop. The prostitution in China has to stop. There is no reason whatsoever that you'd be living in the country of opportunities, China, and then choose to do prostitution. It makes no sense to me. I'll be the one to say it. Everyone has been talking about it, everyone has been whispering about it, but I'll be the one to say it out loud today, that the prostitution in China has to stop. You guys will wonder why Chinese people have no respect for us. They have no regard for us whatsoever. On their social media, there are people that are doing their best to ruin the little reputation that we have. That's one topic that nobody's talking about, and I'll talk about it today. I had the craziest experience of my life in China last year. Now, I moved to Guangzhou, I think in October, November, thereabouts. I came here, moved here, trying to start my business, all of that. On my birthday, I went out for dinner. The night was still young, the restaurant closed, and I was like, hey, I feel like partying, let's go out and have fun. I'm new to Guangzhou, I don't really know places around here. So the people I'm with are like, oh, let's go to, what's the name of the place? I think it was Firuz or Patty Pier. I'm like, I'm down. Let's go and have fun. We arrived at Patty Pier. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Patty Pier. We came out of the cab. Now we're like a group of people, right? We were about to walk into the place. I was behind, walking, using my phone. This guy walked up to me and asked me how much. I thought my ears were paining me. I was shocked. I was perplexed because that has never, ever happened to me in my life. I started to look at myself, and wonder, what is going on?
Baby, I get you. I understand. But look at your image itself. Do y'all know a lot of black women right now as a stance? You have the image of the 304 right now. Like literally. And not only the image, but you have the image of the Hotep 304. What I mean, I'm gonna explain. You're carrying on what we call the bull piercing, the bull ring on your nose. That gives off the 304 Hotep vibes. And most of these women that these other groups are having easy access typically is ladies with that thing on your nose on the average. And there's too many women, I don't care what y'all think that it's some work of art. It's disturbing. It's disgusting, to be honest with you. When you have that big or small little loop around your nose. And I'm going to say this for those that's not knowing. Back a couple centuries ago, the ancestors, or what we call black people from the continent, either Nigeria, Ghana, or any part of the west coast of Africa, and probably beyond that, notice that when they're being captured or being sold within the nation or being taken from other invaders, right? They will take the more attractive, the more appealing, the more what we call beautiful in the race. From the facial structures to the body, these people would enslave those that are beautiful in their eyes, right? But here's the twist. Most African tribes of that time started to notice that. And not only knows that, but they knows that some that they did not want to sell into slaves were not as what is called attractive to other groups of people. And they start to examine why some were able to be captured and sold into slavery and those not. And with intelligence, because most people use their intelligence and observe through the environment, they notice that foreigners want to capture the more beautiful within the group and the one that looks attractive and healthy and all stuff. So what the certain tribes of Africa decided to do, and this is a brief history, I'm going to lay this out. And I got this from a black man that is from the continent. I think he's from Botswana, and he told the same story. And I'm gonna find that section in the chapter in the book, and I'm gonna do a video solely on this to hit on this. What the black people, what the ancestors of the tribes back then did to avoid capture and sent into slavery, they disfigured their face. Now, Chaos, what do you mean disfigure their face? I'm going to explain. They would take items, pencils, barks of tree, or make certain ornaments and put on their face, disfigure their face, their necks, their ears, their face. So like when the Europeans or any group or Arabs or anybody that's trying to take them on as slaves would avoid them like the plague, because they know if you look unattractive and disgusting to their eyes, no one wants to buy you, period, on the average. So the bull rings you see on these women's face that they keep displaying day in and day out is a result of the ancestors of creating that so that they don't get captured in heavy numbers during the enslavement process. Now, a lot of people say I'm bullshitting. I don't bullshit nothing, because I came across information and I read it and I had to use my own common sense to put two together and it makes sense. No person wants to enslave something that they can't sell. And if you're unattractive and you look unhealthy and you disfigure yourself, no one wants to buy you. So what you see women out here that's constantly carrying on this dumb reputation, putting bull rings in their goddamn nose, they're carrying on a tradition to prevent you from being captured. That's all. I'm not going further. I'm gonna let y'all sink on that. Now, before we continue, I like to give respect to the contributors. This one goes out for you.
Money. Show you the money. Show you the money.
Show me the money! Show me the money! Show me the money!
I'd like to thank Gregory Scotland for your $2 contribution. I appreciate it, brother. All donations are appreciated here in the Chaos Radio Show. Anybody wants to support the channel, you guys can hit the super chat. All right, thank you. Let's keep going.
And my friend, asked me, what's going on. A fight started, they started to attack the guy. Scrap that. That passed. I forgot about the experience. The reason why I'm making this video is because I was with a friend, I think 2 weeks ago or last week. I can't remember. This friend is not black. Now with this friend, we're like, oh, let's go out. And I'm like, oh, I know this place, we can go there because he's like, he want to party. I'm like, let's go there. This guy looked at me, he's white, looked at me and said, I don't want to go there. That place is full of working girls. And I'm like, what is working girls? And this guy said, you don't know what working girls means? I'm like, no. And he's like, every girl there is a prostitute. Now, I was like, isn't that a bit exaggerated? Like, I know that there's a bit of prostitution here and there, but he was like, I was there last week and every single girl there that I either tried to interact with, that there literally stated a price. And I stood there in absolute embarrassment for my race, for my gender. I mean, this person literally told me that everybody knows. Like, it's something that is a norm. Everybody knows. I mean, I know about the prostitution that goes on in Yiwu. Now, the funniest part of this story is the fact that the highest rate of prostitution goes on in the 2 major cities where you can do business. I don't understand. Amazing work, only for us to be rounded up as, come on. Now I'm not surprised. I'm really not surprised. I'm not talking about the squanjo. I'm not shocked when you go to places and people will ask you how much. Please, you guys should do better. Honestly speaking, you guys should do better. I don't want to come here and talk about the opportunities, but if you live here, you know that there are tons of other things that you can do rather than prostitution. There are tons of other things, and you guys should stop. There's modeling, there's teaching, there's
Damn, this chick could babble. I tell you, she could damn babble. My God. Let's continue.
live streaming. Go to the markets. You literally see black girls as sales girls. There are black girls that are working in the restaurants. There's a lot of things to do. But no, you said no. No. You guys should do better. The profiling is getting very annoying. Do better. There are people that have been picked up by the police because they've been profiled as prostitutes. Do better for us. I beg you in the name of God.
How's dating life in China as a black girl? Now I'll talk about my own experience, so please do not come at me. Now you gotta know that I do speak, read, write Chinese, okay? And when I mean that, I mean fluent Chinese. Which means I do understand a lot about the Chinese culture, beliefs. So from the beginning, I already know that I do not fit the Chinese beauty standards. I always feel like I'm trying to force myself to where I don't belong to. It feels like I'm trying to make somebody accept me. I've tried, and I met that guy. He was really quite good. He was good. He was nice to me, and he was like, I like you. And I was like, well, good. I mean, a green flag is a green flag. And some boy is a handsome boy. It doesn't really matter whether he's Chinese, white, black, whatever is going around. But he was like, I'm gonna hide it from my family because I can't just tell them that I'm dating a black girl. My mom would not accept that. My dad wouldn't take it. We were not even dating yet. But it feels like I closed my mind after that. I feel like I'm a little bit too good enough to try to force somebody or trying to get myself to fit somewhere that I don't. Now, I know a lot of black sisters are married to Chinese men and all that. I wish them the best. I'm not just strong enough for that.
Here's my experience in dating Chinese men. Okay, first of all, hi, I'm Jess. I lived in China for 7 years, and I dated Chinese guys while I was there. Of course, my ex-boyfriend,
Now, keep in mind, I think this woman is a little bigger. So if you're in China or maybe America dating, you know what time it is, baby. You're going to get them cheeks clapped. I'm just keeping it real. Let's go.
Yeah, my ex-boyfriend, one of my ex-boyfriends is Chinese, and our first date, I wasn't really, I was interested, but I wasn't super interested because of this whole thing. Basically, the way he approached me on Tinder, he had a picture of his ex-girlfriend, and I was like, bro, this is not going to get you any women on Tinder. And he was like, oh, I understand, thanks for telling me, but you look cool, you seem cool, you do jiu-jitsu, blah, blah, blah. Would you like to go out? And I was like, yeah, sure, okay, fine. And I chose the place in Shanghai. There was, obviously you have Chinese food, or food, I guess as you call it in China. And so we go, and he, the bill comes, and he's like, Dan, this is expensive. Can we split it? And from there, I was like, ew, what the hell? Why? This guy asked me out, why am I splitting the bill? But I'm like, whatever, I'm never going to see him again anyway. Never date him again, but we're cool. I say all that to say that, yes, if you're, especially a black woman that said, you're like, oh, I'm not sure about Asian guys, and do they like us or whatever? Yeah, you're going to have that kind of stuff, but if you take the opportunity and you're open-minded and you put yourself out there, yeah, sometimes you meet a nice Chinese guy. Also, let me know in the comments if you are a black woman or someone that's not Asian, and what's your experience dating Asian men. Let me know. I'd love to hear it.
Are y'all watching Asia 100, Physical Asia? Are y'all watching that? Y'all seen these men they got in Asia? I feel like I need to go to Mongolia and find me one of them right there. Oh my gosh. Do they got a visa program for remote workers? Because my people already told me they don't care where I live as long as I get my work done.
Very disturbing. As old as she is, the last thing you want to think about, madam, is Mongolian men. Unless you want to be used as recreational use, which most of the men will take the opportunity to oblige that. But overall, you over there, you're going to just get, back shots from Mr. Chin. I'm just saying.
He's a wrestler. So what you're saying is you could pick me up with no problem. Noted.
That's what happens.
But is he single? Is he single?
If there's one thing that black girls don't talk about, it's dating in Korea. Actually, dating in Asia, just in general. If you don't know me, I went traveling to Asia by myself for about a couple months. It wasn't meant to be a couple months. It was actually meant to be 2 weeks. I was traveling around Japan and Korea. Then I just ended up staying in Korea for like 3 months. And this is how my experience of dating was when I was in Korea. Let me tell you this. For all the girlies that want to go to Korea, South Korea to be specific, I can talk about Japan in another video. But because Japanese men, they're more better. But Korean men are better looking. Anyways, back on topic. For all the girlies that want to go to Korea, I think that all the men are going to be like the K-drama boys. Let me tell you right now, let me break it to you right now, that the expectation is not reality. These boys are not gentlemen in Korea. Nope, they don't open a door for you. And if a man opens a door for you in Korea, just take it as you're good looking, because there's no way a man will open a door for you. No, because they have. I just felt like a lot of Korean men lacked manners. Basic house training was just not there, and I was just like so confused because what I was seeing in the K-dramas wasn't matching up with what I was seeing in real life. And you know what? Maybe they act different to like different color races. Maybe they act different to each other. But from what I saw from my perspective and to my friends, Korean men they're moving crazy. I feel like they're just really, really horny rabbits, and they'll literally sometimes whatever they see in sight, And after realizing, after coming to my senses and realizing that these Korean men really ain't what it is about, I wasn't really going for, I never ever chase men, but I just knew that my intentions now is never to really go for a Korean man, because the stuff that I saw, I was like, yeah, I'm not with it. And also, a lot of Korean men are very feminine too, just saying. But
okay, here's what cracks me up about men and trying to.
All right, we're gonna do a pause and read Gregory Scott's comment and make sure. Okay. All right, it went through. Gregory Scott writes, Chaos, these women are scaring me. They sound so out of touch. Wow, brain dead par excellence. Bro, it's beyond brain dead. What you're saying, my brother, Mr. Scott, is the official and demise of the 3 or 4 black women today. Now, some of you see are ones that's in their 20s. Some of you see that's, God knows, almost 50. The point is this, Gregory Scott. The videos you see so far, and there are going to be more, and I might do a follow-up on this, because I did not know so much women is telling themselves when they travel outside America that this is what they're going after. And a side note, because I got this from MM. If a black woman wants to go outside the country to find a mate, or what they like to call partner, they're gonna be the ones fitting the bill. Because if you're a black person in America, and let's say you work for America and you get in the United States US fiat currency, you're gonna be more richer than mostly every nation outside America. And I think it's over 140 or 50 countries. Roughly, the dollar goes much further. So you dating outside your race as a black woman outside the country with another man, you're going to be more wealthier than the man. So obviously you're going to be taking care of the man regardless. Even to the point now that date, particularly that woman that was dating the Asian man and he wants the bill split, that's normal. And most women nowadays, they don't mind splitting the bill with their man. So imagine now you got more money. You're not going to split it, but you're going to probably pay the whole bill officially because you got the money. So let that sink in, Gregory. They're actually opening the doors and advocating for solicitation with other men and looking for other groups of men. Especially the older they get, the more lustful and the more, what's the word? A garden tool they want to be for other groups of men. Let that sink in. All right, let's continue.
date Spanish men here in Spain because they all overhype me, all over sexualize me, and all can't wait to own or penetrate me in some way, shape, or form. And the part that I find to be the most hilarious all the time is how infatuated they are with the idea of dating an intelligent black woman until they fuck around and find out that they're dating an intelligent black woman.
But what makes you intelligent is my question. And I'm hoping you ladies not talking about because you go to school and you get degrees and you're intelligent. No, you're not. You are a chatter. You are a parrot. Education does not start in the universities you go to. Education is a constant life process. And what I mean by life process, that means how much you invest reading, experiencing life, how much you can relate to people, how to communicate with people, how you move as a person in society and as a woman. That would be more a better indicator of intelligence than you just go to school. So when I hear women talking about they educate, that does not quantify anything. Personally. And if we want to go by degrees, other groups of women have more degrees than black women. But you see, that tells something because they have a so-called inferior complex. They're not really seeing the environment as a whole and where they stand. So let's keep going.
Don't step up to play if you can't hit the ball. Okay.
In other countries, they treat black women with the expectation that they will be putting in very little work. The sheer fact that outside the U.S. and even within the U.S. non-black men assume black women are prostitutes ready to go to Pound Town at any minute says that black women's reputation worldwide is in danger or is already past the point of no return. Last thing I will say, any woman traveling to another country to start a business is lying. The business is the cover-up for the fact that they are prostituting. Most prostitutes claim to be business owners and entrepreneurs, but when you see them, they are terrible at business. Links are...
All right. So, I hope you guys agree with that. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not sure, guys. Personally, my opinion is this. To wrap this up, this portion, right? Most women today are not officially entrepreneurs to the point where the business scales up that society can use. But if you look at the business, most women start up. It's not something that is scalable to a point that it could be a Fortune 500 company and compete with other corporations that's been around for decades. The only companies I know that possibly can compete and sometimes have trouble maintaining are ones that black men establish overall. But when I hear women tell me that they're the rise and growing entrepreneurs and all that stuff, when you look at it and really look at the data and look at what they do and what they're creating, it's not something that is scalable and sustainable to a point that no one can use in the long term. So I think most black women, they keep saying this, is to boost their ego in the long term and the short terms, and really boast it around black men, because black men are not really well read and study of what's going on here. So they listen to women and don't really fact check the information they're laying out as a whole. So if you're a black person of any age, always question it, look it up yourself, and quantify if they really are doing anything that they say they're doing. Now, I don't really advocate most women today go outside the country and be traveling like that by themselves or with other girlfriends, because really truly, you going outside the country is not something that you're really gaining anything besides getting your cheeks blown out. I see too many of them on my social media that travel to countries mostly in South America, and now I'm hearing certain black women are traveling to or getting access to go to Dubai. And we all know what the Arab or Indian men that's doing in those countries, especially Dubai. They're indulging in using women, Western women especially, as a toilet. That's as far as I'm going to say. But anyhow, what's your thoughts, guys? Leave a comment below. I want to look forward to hearing from y'all. And make sure to hype this video and like, share, and subscribe to the channel. All right. So now, to wrap this up, in conclusion. Oh, if you guys have any last minute comments, put it now in the chat room. I know most of you guys subscribe now to leave a comment because I let it slide to a degree. And I appreciate everybody's comments so far. Some I can read, some I cannot read. And someone that's not staying on topic, your comment will not be read. If I see anything that's off topic, I will not read it unless in the super chat. I will not have no more off topic comments in my chat room no more. If you're not sticking to the content or don't know what it is, just stay quiet. But don't leave no stupid comment or leave a comment in the chat room. I will not read it unless it's super chat. And I see only a few comments today on today's stream that people left that is not pertaining to the subject matter, and I'm not gonna allow, and I'm not gonna read it no more moving forward. So in wrapping up this stream, I find that overall the standards to the average divester, or even to the women that divest from their old men of the group, right, is a standard that really every woman can't uphold. I think they're trying to find something new. In regards to the non-black women, the Asian woman and the Irish woman you saw earlier on this video, they are considered divesting because really truly they found affinity of, you know, and a taste for non-black phalluses. And they carry out their experience and find it entertaining to the point they build relationships that suit and fit them and their mate. I can't knock that. But the downside of doing this, you're going to be ostracized and criticized and questioned within the men within your own group overall, because either if you tell them or not, they will know, because it's going to come up eventually. Because like the women said in the video, the men showed their disdain, hate, and affinity over black men's phalluses, and they're gonna let you know time in and time out if you got entered by a non-white man or a a non-black man. And they know this, and they express the weirdness of these other men within the other groups. But that comes with the territory once you have intercourse with black men. They don't like that. They don't want to compete with that. They don't want to know that they have to put in extra work or more to satisfy you, and or so-called alleged satisfy or please you in the bedroom, which most men, especially white men, don't really care much overall. They rather get their nut off. If you get your nut off, that's good, but it's not really a focus on most of them. Oh no, they don't want you to get pleasure or get release from other groups of men, especially black men. Because the minute you get a release from the black man, when a black man gives you ecstasy, it's a problem for other groups of men to do that and follow suit, because now they can't control you psychologically. You've been conquered and dominated with the black phallus, and they don't like it. So they do everything possible to not only create the systems, but create propaganda to divorce you away from it. And you hear the scenarios of how they do it by, not including you. If you are a daughter and you have a black boyfriend, your father's gonna give you a choice to get rid of him so you could still get some incentive or some else. And if you're dealing with other groups of men and you're, let's say, Asian or white woman, and you're up and messing around black man, they know about it or not, all they're gonna do is they're gonna eventually write you off. Or if they do get a chance to sleep with you, they're gonna always bring that to your head. Are they better than the black man that blow your back out? Or in short, Tyrone. So that's the story. That's the case. So that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed this stream. I know I did a fair job on this, and thank Gregory Scott for the contribution. Like always, if you guys have any ideas or you have opinions of today's stream, let me know in the comment section. Also, don't forget to hype this video up and give a like or dislike. I mean, dislikes go far. I don't like to see dislikes, but it is what it is. But overall, all engagement is better than nothing. Thank y'all for watching today's stream. Until next time, and I mean next time. Let the chaos reign.
Man, all you hoes. You and your mammy and your granny too. I'm sick of this shit. All you hoes. Don't give a damn what you wanna do.
They like the chaos.
They like the chaos. So when you're able to
The chaos.
let that chaos reign with you.
The chaos.
Let that chaos reign with you.
The chaos.
Let that chaos reign with you.
Must reign.